Hello, everybody. I hope you're all well and welcome back to Voicenotes with Jordan Theresa. How is everybody doing today? It is, okay, I can't lie, it's Baltic in the UK right now. I was walking home from the station last night and it was 0 degrees. And this is the thing, I don't mind a day like today where the sky is so blue right now and I know it's going to be cold, but I can put my bonnet on, I can layer up. A girl that knows everything's going to be okay. Guys, I uploaded a TikTok about how to dress warm for the winter without wearing a puffer coat and it got 200k. Like, guys, I feel famous. Like, I feel like my TikToks never really do that well. So like when something does well on TikTok, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a real influencer. But it's very cold, but the weather's beautiful today. And this is the thing, I've always said this, that if I lived in New York, when I go to New York, even when it's cold, the sky is always blue. Over here, it's so gloomy. And I think that's what actually gets me down, not the cold weather. But obviously this weather, it's winter. We're entering winter. I will say I'm dressed very skimpily because I put the heat in on blast. But that does mean that I've booked some festivals in. I'm so excited. I've got a weekend ticket for Mighty Hoopla because I want to see Lily Allen perform West End Girl and Scissor Sisters on Sunday. I saw Scissor Sisters at Glastonbury and I know I have to mentally prepare myself that it's not going to top what I can only describe as the best day of my life, Saturday at Glastonbury, but it's going to come close. So I've booked Mighty Hoopla, I've booked Rally, I'm also going to Love International in Croatia. I haven't been to Love International since I went to Love International when I was 23. I was like in my baby dance music days where I didn't even really like the dance music. I just wanted to like go and have fun. And I had such a great time at that festival. I would highly, highly recommend it. So I'm very excited to be going back. Like booking these festivals in November, does it seem a bit extreme? Yes. But you have to have something to look forward to. And I like filling out my diary with all my festivals. Like you guys know, I'm just a festival girly. This is what I look forward to. And to be fair, I do also have a Madruga ticket, but I don't have anyone to go with. So if anybody wants to come to Madruga with me, but like I don't have anyone to go to Madruga with, so I'm seeing my friend Ruby today to co-work, so I'm gonna put a feeler out there and see if she'd want to come with me. And I think what I also really like about Love International is, of course, it's a long festival, guys. It's like 7 days and the music is 24 hour. But you get an Airbnb. You have to pay for the Airbnb, the flights, but the ticket for the festival itself actually isn't that expensive. It's 200 quid. And I don't know if anybody else who goes to festivals is like feeling the pinch from them, but I feel like they've all whacked their prices up a lot recently, even the day festivals. I'm probably going to go to Gala, one of the days of Gala, and I was looking and the tickets are already like £55. I'm like, for a day festival? I remember when I used to get tickets on pre-sale, I didn't get a ticket for Gala on pre-sale, but like even the Rally ticket on pre-sale was £40, and usually a festival ticket pre-sale is around 20. So I just feel like festivals are getting so expensive. And of course, you have to pay for flights, you have to pay for accommodation, but also you're getting a 7-day festival. You actually have like accommodation, shower, etc. Like I look at some of these like weekend festivals in the UK where you can't guarantee nice weather or anything like that. And like I remember I was going to buy a ticket for a festival last year and it was £400. And I'm like most weekend festivals are like £350 in the UK, and it's difficult because obviously Glastonbury is that price, but Glastonbury, the reason they don't whack their prices up constantly and you get so much for your money is because they get so much support from the government, they get so much support from the BBC. Obviously the music industry, the festival industry, they're still catching up from all the money that they lost during COVID. This isn't even necessarily criticism. I just like want to know if anybody else feels this way, that I just feel like all these like festivals have just gotten so expensive recently. Especially like, some of these weekend festivals are the same price or more expensive than Glastonbury, and you're obviously getting so much less. But also I understand that Glastonbury receives so much support from the government and also from, the BBC, etc. But I'm still booking in my festivals, and Madruga is like not that expensive. Madruga was £150. So like I am very, very happy to be going. I'm very happy to be going. I'm going to have to rally up the troops to come with me, but I will be at that festival. And I know a few people have been in the comments saying, Jordan, where's the vlog? Jordan, where's the vlog, guys? It's coming, okay? I flopped. I flopped. I've always been bad at vlogging, and I had a little practice round. It wasn't everything that I dreamed of and more. I just wasn't super happy with it. I know it's not about the perfectionism, but also it's good to practice. So I'm going to vlog next week. Also, it's difficult because I'm hanging out with a lot more new people recently who I can't really like whip my vlogging camera, I can't really like whip my vlogging camera in front of, especially because none of these people work in the same industry as me. So I don't feel like super comfortable vlogging in front of people, but like I've tactically placed this on a week where I'm hanging out with people who are fine with me vlogging or who are like, you know, they're like influencing and stuff themselves. So they get, the girls that get it. But the vlog is coming. Like, I want to do this, guys. I love vlogs. It's coming, I swear. But how is everybody doing today? What has everybody been up to? I'm recording this episode on Friday. I do have that Friday feeling. Guys, I have been in such a good mood recently. Like, I feel like I was talking to my therapist about it. I know that it's like a bit of a cringe social media. I'm trying to stop myself from calling things cringe, but you know, the whole like, I've got my spark back. I know that it's a bit of a cliche, but I do feel like I really have like the life force has re-entered me recently. I'm sure you guys didn't notice it in the podcast because like overall I felt fine. Like I didn't feel that bad. But like in the last like 2 months, I had a really rough October. Like I can't lie. I had like personal drama. And I just didn't have a good October, and I was so, you know, for the past like nearly 2 months, I've just been so anxious, and like I've been feeling a little down. I've been very easy to upset. Like that's the way I would describe it. Like I was getting very easily upset and like honestly, I guess like easily triggered, I guess. Like, and I just like wasn't feeling good within myself, and like I was just so sorry, that was like a really stupid thing to say, but I have just been very anxious, and I've been feeling a bit sad, and I've been feeling a bit down, and I think just overall I think I've just been very negative, and I don't like to think of myself as a very negative person. So to have like this, what I felt like, it's so cheesy, but like I felt like there was a little rain cloud over my head. Like that's sort of how I've been feeling in the past 2 months. And in this past like week, 2 weeks, maybe it was the glint of a blue sky that I've seen, but I've just been, you know, all the orange leaves, everything looks so beautiful, but like I've just been feeling really good, and I've been feeling really positive, and I've been like waking up in like a really good mood, which like just wasn't really happening for the past 2 months. And it's like quite interesting actually, because I was talking to my therapist about it, and I was like, it's one of those things where you don't realize that you weren't feeling good until you start feeling really good again, and you're like, oh, like I've actually not been, I guess I sort of feel like I've been on autopilot for the past 2 months. So I just feel really happy. Maybe this is why I'm so excited for Christmas. Maybe this is, you know, I've been talking about how, by the way, the Christmas background is coming soon. I bought some like red ribbons to put here, which I thought would be a vibe. My hairdresser did her whole salon in like pink ribbons, and it literally looks amazing. It looks so chic. So I think I'm gonna do like some little red ribbons. But anyways, maybe that's why I'm so excited for Christmas this year, because I am feeling like really positive recently, and I'm just really glad that I'm out of it. Like it took me a sec, but like it's always times like these where you realize that everything is temporary, like nothing is permanent. When you're sort of in those like anxiety spirals, you feel very down, like you genuinely feel like it's never going to end, but it does. Me not saying the most groundbreaking thing ever, do you know what I mean? I'm really not saying anything new, but I'm just like really happy, and I feel really like grateful that I'm feeling good again. But what is everybody up to this week? What have I done this week? Obviously been working. I uploaded a bonus episode on the pod, which we'll talk about in a second. Don't worry when I promote my Substack. But I did a like networking event with YouTube that Jack and Eleanor presented. And then yesterday I did a talk with Substack and 529 with a bunch of creators who weren't on Substack. And I did it with David Larby and Rosie from Substack. And by the way, love them both. Rosie is so chic, but David Larby is truly one of the nicest people that I've ever met in my industry. He's just like, he is such a good hype man. Like I mean, I like his videos anyway, but like I really like him as a person. I think he's fantastic. So I did like a little talk, which I felt so professional, I felt so corporate. I did a little talk of like why I really like being on Substack, which I actually had such a great day. Like I had so much fun. And what am I doing right now work-wise? Obviously, I'm cooking up this Lads Mag video. All my Lads Mags have arrived now, and Leanne's done the research for me, so I need to get that printed over the weekend and read that over the weekend as well. I'm also trying to I'm trying to like do some more short form content, but like none of my short form content is really landing. So I know that I need to like do something new. I just don't know what yet. I want to do a little short form video on how I stay in the loop with current affairs without scrolling on my phone. And I know that sounds really stupid because people are going to be in the comments like, oh, just read the news. But the landscape of the news can be so overwhelming that I actually think it's quite helpful to essentially present my favorite sources to read news, to catch up, because there's different kinds of news as well. There's pop culture. There's also like different websites which I would describe as more accessible than others. So like there's so many different things, and I thought it would be really interesting to do a video about that as someone who's like reduced my screen time. I've had a little bit of a worse screen time this week, but I am factoring in that I've been editing TikToks on my phone this week. I've also been calling people a lot. I've been FaceTiming my mum a lot this week. And then today I'm going for a co-working day with my friend Ruby. And then what else am I doing today? And then also today I am going for a sandwich making evening. Guys, sandwich making evenings are so back. I'm going for a sandwich making evening with my parents, with my mum and my stepdad. I'm super, super excited. We're doing it on ciabatta this time. Interesting choice. My mum rang me, didn't even say hello. She just went, "Is ciabatta all right?" I was like, bloody hell, mum, it's 10 in the morning. I don't know. And I'm also, very excitingly, I'm picking up my decks. I think I'm going to try to go to IKEA next week and get my little table. And then I also need to order my speakers. I also need to load up a USB. It's quite exciting, though, having something to do, which I'm really looking forward to. And then I've been listening to a lot of sets to like get myself inspired. I'm so excited. And then also, from my parents, I'm also picking up my new scarf and mittens. I don't think I've actually told you guys about Mitten Gate. I know I've told you guys over in a Substack live about Mitten Gate, but let me tell you guys about Mitten Gate. So I have a lovely scarf and mittens that Jack bought me for our Secret Santa, which, by the way, I know I've had a few comments whether the Secret Santa is happening this year. It is. I'm actually recording this episode on Black Friday. So I'm buying all of mine and all of my presents for Jack this weekend. I'm buying all of my Christmas presents this weekend too. Organised Queen. By the way, the reason I say it is because I literally did all my Christmas shopping on the 23rd of December last year. I had this lovely scarf and mittens from Peachy Den from Jack for Secret Santa, and I was wearing the mittens, and then I went for my birthday meal with my family. And I would like to say, disclaim this, I love my stepdad down. You guys know how much I love my stepdad. My stepdad's been my stepdad. My stepdad is basically like my dad. Like, he's been my stepdad for as long as I can remember, since I was about like 3 years old. So love that man down. And this is the thing, I am my stepfather's stepdaughter. I am my stepfather's stepdaughter, and I never behave like this towards customer service staff, but I have an sort of issue where when I'm impassioned about something, and, you know, let's say I'm getting into a debate with one of my friends, I actually come across as a lot more aggressive than I actually realise. And my stepdad does the same thing. And basically, this is such a parent thing. Are you guys ready for the most parent story ever? So first of all, we're in Cold Drops Yard, which is so North London mum fodder. My mum loves a bit of Cold Drops Yard. So we were in Cold Drops Yard, we were eating at a restaurant, and my stepdad wanted to pay in cash. And the last time he was at the restaurant, they did accept cash. This time they didn't. Well, at first they said yes, but I think the waitress misheard. And then the waitress came back, she went, "Oh no, we don't take cash." And then it's the most parent thing ever. My stepdad started going on about, "It's legal tender. It's legal tender. Oh, John." And this is the thing. He was being rude to the wait staff. And I was like, "Oh, John, please." So I just kept going, "John, stop. And I just kept going, give me the cash, I'll pay with my card. And it was the principle. And this is the thing, my stepdad wasn't wrong. It is legal tender, but the way that he goes about things, and me and my family all agree with this, the way that he goes about things makes his point null because he's gone about it in the wrong way. So basically after about like 10 minutes of faffing, and it's just that pure embarrassment when your parent is being rude to wait staff that like you literally want to die, that I ended up like walking out of the restaurant and waiting for everyone outside because I was like, I actually am getting so overwhelmed in there, like I can't. Anyways, so my stepdad immediately comes out and I would like to say he never apologizes, right? Because he's a middle-aged man. He never apologizes. He apologized to me straight away. And then also he texted me after saying that he's sorry. So I believe the man. I know he's apologetic. I know he just got a bit carried away. Anyway, so we get like 10 minutes down the road, we get to a bar, we're sat having drinks, we're outside, like, oh God, my hands are a bit chilly, let me put my mittens on. You guys know what's about to happen. My mittens were not in my bag. My mittens were not in my pockets. My mittens were not anywhere to be seen. My mittens must have been in the restaurant. And my stepdad, so basically I was like, it's my birthday. I'm not walking 10 minutes up the road to go and get my mittens. Someone else needs to get them. Anyways, we get locked into a who's going to go collect the mittens. And in the end, we came to the conclusion that because my stepdad was rude to the wait staff, even if my mittens were there, they've either kept them or thrown them in the bin. And I think that's honestly fair enough. So I was mittenless. And in the end, my mum ordered me, I'm such a brat. I was going like, my mittens. My mum ordered me a new scarf and mittens from Peachy Den, which are actually in a different colour, which my mum said was a nicer colour. She went, Jordan, these ones are nicer. They match with your hair more. So that's why I'm picking up my new scarf and mittens after #mittengate. And then tomorrow, Saturday, weekend planned wise, I am going day drinking for like tomorrow on Saturday. And then I'm meant to be going on a night out and I will go, but I just don't think I'm going to go too ham. I don't think I'm going to go too crazy because on Sunday I need to pick up research notes. I need to just like really get ahead with this like, Lads Mags video because already there's just not enough time in the week. Like as Charlie XCX wrote on Substack, I wish there was 8 days in a week. Like that's how it feels. I wish there was 8 days in a week because I really want to put my all into this loaded mag video and I just wish that there was more time. I know that sounds so dramatic, but I truly, truly wish there was more time. Also, I don't want to be super hungover because at some point I need to clear out my ensuite. My ensuite, I use it as storage because my landlord is an enigma. Like my landlord is an enigma. I have no idea what that man's about, what he does. So I have been like asking him so many times, like, can you fix the bathroom? And he just goes, yeah, I will. And then he never does. And then I just never follow up because I can't be bothered. Like I've got so many things to do that it slips by the wayside, guys. So I just use it as storage. And basically I have like me and Jack changed our table over and I have this like massive table that I need to basically store in there. Like I've taken the legs off. It's huge and it's so heavy because it's an extendable table. So it's got like those metal fixtures on the bottom. So I need to do that. I need to return some parcels. I need to do like a real like admin-y Sunday. I need to print those research notes. I need to read my Nuts magazines. Like also little phone addiction update. I love doing my little I love how phone addiction updates become the same as thoughts of the week and outfit of the day. Little phone addiction update is I have found, so my screen time has been higher, but I do think it's because I've been posting more and editing on my phone. But also I find that my like social media usage goes up when I post more, not because of the editing, but because I like to check it. And it's so interesting because I can't remember where I read it in a video, but in one of my videos, I read about how like essentially these social media apps, they take advantage of your narcissism and like they know that people are narcissistic enough to check their profiles all the time. So they basically make the mechanisms of like having a profile as like accessible as possible, as addictive as possible, because they know that people's narcissism will take them there. And it's just like so interesting, isn't it, that like I use my phone the most. I haven't even been scrolling. Someone like, what news did someone tell me? I had no idea about the Jeff Bezos Met Gala stuff until someone told me about it in my DMs. Like, I am so out of the loop at the moment. Like, I haven't read any news this week either. Like, I haven't been doing my usual, like, Guardian in Focus, or I haven't really been reading The Atlantic. Like, I just, like, have been honestly on... What have I been doing this week? To be fair, I have been quite busy. And then, like, when I get downtime, I sort of just, like, watch some YouTube videos. But I need to get back into my habit of... Also, I've been really enjoying getting ready in silence. I've been loving it. Like, I've been doing my makeup, hair, skincare all in complete silence. And it feels so nice. And, like, I leave my phone. So, like, a little phone hack that I do to not use my phone in the morning, because I've been on my not using my phone in the morning bars. I've used it in the morning the past 2 days because I've had to, like, get up early, and, like, I want to make sure that I'm, like, awake. And, like, the best way for me to wake myself up is to stare at a screen. But I've been loving not using my phone in the morning. Like, I actually think that has been, or like not using social media rather in the morning. Because I even message back? I message my manager, but like, that's it. I like other people, I wait until I'm like in the office to reply to their messages. Like, I feel like I'm almost clocking in to using my phone. I've been loving not using my phone in the morning. And what I've been doing to also help myself not use my phone in the morning is, obviously I haven't been taking my phone to the bathroom with me. But also when I get ready, I actually don't charge my phone overnight. I actually like don't charge it, and then I charge it in the morning, because usually from the time I wake up to the time I leave the house, it's about an hour and a half, because I usually read for like 20 minutes in bed to wake myself up. So that's like my little hack, and I've been really loving it. I need to like whip myself into shape a little bit more, because I am like obsessed with like, it's not even necessarily checking my notifications. Obviously I like to see how things are performing, but like I just like looking at my own profile. Like, it's actually shameful. Like, it's actually embarrassing. My thoughts of the week this week is actually related to my phone addiction, which, by the way, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I made an episode called Reversing My Brain Rot Girl Winter, where I talk about all the things I'm going to do to try and reverse my brain rot. And like, one of the things that like really has motivated me to spend less time on my phone is the fact that I have terrible memory. Like, my short-term memory, to be fair, even my long-term memory. Like, I was hanging out with my girls from school yesterday. We went out for dinner, and they, like, a running joke in our friendship group is the fact that whenever they talk about someone from school, I can never remember who it is, because I'm literally like, who? Like, which, I mean, to be fair, I think I remember what I want to remember. Do you know what I mean? I don't really want to remember anyone from school, to be honest. But yes, my motivation to like be less on my phone was also to improve my memory, which, to be fair, I feel like I'm going to take that a step further and start doing like memory games, which hopefully like don't involve a screen. But I can't really think of like what games would improve my memory that doesn't involve being on a screen. Is there like a book thing that I can help improve my memory? I guess reading books probably helps you improve your memory, which, by the way, I'm reading a big boy book at the moment. Let me show you. I actually have another copy of this down here, because Jack bought me a copy of Caledonian Road I used to live in Caledonian Road. So when that book came out, it was very, very special, because they had a big poster of Caledonian Road outside the station. And I've already said I've been loving reading this book, because I, again, used to live just off Cali Road. And it's like really special reading this book, and they're like referencing all these places that I've been, like, and it's like, so like I can really like immerse myself in the book. But I'm borrowing Jack's. Oh shit, is this Jack's? So I have underlined Jack's book. Oopsie. I've only underlined a little bit, to be fair. And to be fair, I can just buy him a new copy, because it's not like he's annotated this either. But anyways, I have the paperback because it's so much lighter than the hardback. But this is a big boy book. I'm like over halfway through now. I'm really, really enjoying it. I think what I'm enjoying most about it is like, I just like the fact that I just have this big book, and I'm like hacking away at this like piece of media. I'm hacking away at this story. I'm reading this story. I'm taking this story in over like, how long have I been reading this for? I think I've been reading this for like over 2 weeks now. And it just feels good to have something sit with you for this long and to like become part of your routine. And Jack's read it, so it feels really good to be able to be like, I think this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. I'm really, really excited to like properly it's all begin like over halfway. It's like everything's beginning to kick off a little bit. It's such a good book. I'm really, really enjoying it. I want to reverse my brain rot to improve my memory. And in my thoughts of the week, I wrote, I think my bad memory is making me a bad friend. And like what I mean by that is my memory is so bad that I genuinely am really bad with faces, names, like as in like if I've met someone, like if I went on a night out with a big group, I'm not going to remember who in that big group I've met and who in that big group I haven't. And like, unless they have quite a distinct look. And like, it's just very stressful. And then this week, I sent one of my best friends, Holly, a chicken restaurant recommendation. She's fucking vegetarian. Like, and to be fair, in that house, because my 3 best friends all live together, in that house, they're all vegetarian, but one of them eats chicken sometimes. So like, I mean, she's not vegetarian then, but you know what I mean? Like they all used to be vegetarian. One of them used to be vegan. Like, do you know what I mean? So like, forgive my terrible memory. And then also they're pescatarian. So you can see where the confusion happens. But yeah, no, I feel like my terrible memory is making me a terrible friend, which is like motivating me more to improve my memory and reduce my screen time. So if anybody has any like non-screen hacks to improve my memory, please let me know. I imagine like learning a language probably improves your memory, but I wonder if DJing is going to help me improve my memory, because obviously you have to remember all of the tracks, because obviously you only have the names of them on your USB. So you have to remember the names of the tracks, and then you also have to remember all of like the little tricks. Maybe DJing is going to be the thing that improves my memory, guys. Also, someone has called themselves Just for Fun. So there's this band, and they've called themselves Just for Fun. And they have this like quite fun indie sleaze song that goes, I want to go to Paris. And I don't know, see, I don't want to change my DJ name, but I'm thinking maybe I'll just do Just for Fun, and then the number 4, and then fun, and then do it all in capitals, because they're just for fun. Like they're like just the sentence just for fun. Because it's not like I'm trying to build a career out of this, do you know what I mean? So I'm not exactly like fussed if like I'm going to share a name with someone because of like fucking SEO or something. Like I actually don't really care. But you know, some of these things where I think, damn it. But it's okay. Shall we do a little outfit of the day? I've said this before when I've done an episode about fashion, that I feel like whenever I upload like a fashion-y video that I'm always like really self-conscious about my outfit. Like I'm always like, it's too boring. I need to add layers. It's too boring. This is just what I wear. Guys. I'm going to keep it real. But I've worn this top so many times on the pod. It is one of my favorite tops. It's from Paloma Wool. And I don't shop from Paloma Wool that often, actually, because it is so expensive. And also a lot of their pieces are very delicate. Because they're made out of very delicate materials like Cupro, they're actually quite difficult when it comes to like maintaining the piece and like have it actually be long lasting. I have a pair of their Cupro like trousers with the built-in skirt, which I always get so many compliments on, but the Cupro already has like marks on it that the guy at the dry cleaners said he couldn't get out because he would damage the material. So that's one thing to factor in if you're shopping from Paloma Wool. But this doesn't have like any material, as in fragile material in it. This is just cotton, and then this is like, I really like this because it's like a perforated material, and it's got the little numbers on it. Love a little sporty chic moment. And then I'm just wearing a pair of plain black bottoms, but these are from a brand called why am I saying they're from a brand called Isabella Vrana? I shop from Isabella Vrana all the time, and I shout them out in the pod all the time, obviously, but I love these trousers. These are from their Slinky collection. They're literally just black Slinky trousers. I have a pair of the lilac ones, but I do get a ton of use out of them. But I think lilac isn't entirely my colour palette. But I do actually really like about having those sort of lilac-y trousers in my collection is like they do look really good with black. So like it's nice when you're wearing an all black outfit to wear like the lilac trousers because it's a nice little pop of colour because they're a very muted lilac. But then also got a bloody ink stain on them. One thing about me, guys, everything in my life has ink stains on them. I'm very analog, like as in, and I'm sure everyone else is like this too, because yeah, sure, I type everything up, but when I'm like brainstorming, I actually have my notebook here because this episode is very off the cuff. Like I haven't actually researched for this. I guess it's sort of like a bit of a fashion-y Q&A, but I just wanted to have like a fashion yap with you guys. But anytime I'm like structuring a video, brainstorming for a video, I have to do it on paper. Like I cannot brainstorm on a laptop. So how did I get onto this? Oh yeah, so I have pens all the time. I always forget to put the cap on pens, and unfortunately diva down my lilac Isabella Vrana trousers that have a big ink stain on them, but you can't really notice it, to be honest. But I decided to get them in black, and I really like these because they're one of those things where it's like smart but also casual. And I am not a lover of wearing tights, and I thought these trousers would be really good to essentially use as a pair of tights and like layer underneath skirts and dresses. This is like my new winter garm. Like, I know I'm going to get so much use out of these. I love these. And just before we get into today's episode, if you find yourself wanting more voice notes content, don't forget to subscribe to the Substack. Not only do we have content on there available for everyone, we have a few written articles to go alongside the episodes, but we also have exclusive content for paid subscribers. As I always say in these intros, there is absolutely no pressure. Substack is just an avenue for me to be able to make more content for you guys and to talk about things that are a little more controversial. Sometimes I get a little more personal on there because it's to a smaller audience. And also I love building a community with you guys over there. We have a group chat that everyone contributes to, which is so fun. So for the paid subscribers, there is a monthly bonus episode. There is also a monthly live stream, and there is also access to the group chat where we all have a kiki on there. It's a lot of fun. I love doing Substack. Like when I was doing my talk with them yesterday, I was literally just telling everyone in the room, like, it is so good. Like it feels like it almost feels like an anti-social media website. And I remember when they asked me to come on, I felt like I was being like invited to the cool kids table, honestly. But the bonus episodes I've covered so far, there's 4 on there. I've covered Sydney Sweeney, Bonnie Blue, what was the third one? J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter adults. And then the most recent episode is about open relationships, obviously inspired by West End Girl and Lily Allen and David Harbour's divorce. And I honestly, that one is maybe one of the most personal episodes I've ever made because I spilled my tea. On and my thoughts and feelings towards open relationships, my experience on field, threesomes. Like I was like sharing it all on that episode, and I had so much fun. And I think what felt really good about it was when I was like telling these stories about like my feelings towards field and stuff, people were commenting like, oh my God, I felt the same way about field. So yeah, but if you do find yourself wanting more voice notes content, subscribe to the Substack. But if you don't, then it's absolutely no worries. So in today's episode of Voice Notes with Jordan Theresa, I wanted to have a little fashion-y yap. I wanted to have a little fashion-y yap with you guys because well, it's one of those things. It's interesting when you say I love fashion because I am not someone who is like into high fashion by any means. I am not into runway. I am not into going to fashion shows. Like, I mean, am I invited? No, but I'm not really interested in that kind of stuff. And like, I always find I'm about to speak my truth, that the most disappointing pipeline to me is like relatable influencer to high fashion girly, like because it's not something that I'm drawn to at all. And if anything, I find it quite boring. Like, so I am into fashion, but I'm not into like high fashion. I'm not that well versed in, different runways in different seasons in different years, but I love getting dressed in the morning. I love my clothes. I love shopping, and I love specifically vintage fashion, sustainable, small brands. That's what makes me happy. And I just love talking about fashion as well. I find fashion discourse so interesting. Sorry, I can't remember where I was in my sentence. I had to take a quick water break. But basically, I'm into fashion in that way, and I want to yap about fashion with you guys today. Sorry, my voice is totally going. So I'm not gonna lie, this is very off the cuff. I've literally written down the questions. Okay, analog. I've written down the questions and I'm just gonna talk my shit. So I asked you guys over on my Instagram, what fashion-y stuff would you like me to yap about? And honestly, you guys came through with so many interesting things to talk about. There's a few things on here that I might save for a different episode because they require a bit more research. I just wanted to do like a very chill off the cuff episode this week. So, you know, things like the Jeff Bezos funding the Met Gala, and I guess the Rose sample sale as well could do with a separate episode, although I probably will touch on the Rose sample sale in this episode. Like, you guys asked so many cool like questions and I really appreciate it. And if you want to get involved in the next episode, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at Jordan Theresa. And honestly, if you want more fashion content from me, I'd probably recommend following my Instagram and also follow my TikTok, which is also at Jordan Theresa. Sorry, I feel so shameless. Fashion propaganda you're not falling for. I'm such a hater that I actually love questions like this. So the first I was like milling over this question. The fashion propaganda I'm not falling for is Levi's engineered jeans. I know, I'm like ducking from the tomatoes. I'm ducking from the tomatoes. And this is the thing. I know that I might be playing into like the sort of acceleration of a trend cycle here, or like the end of a trend cycle by criticizing a trend. But my issue with the Levi's engineered jeans, right? I've reposted a lot of them onto my Pinterest. I love the wash of them. I think they're a super unique shape. I love the little details. This is what's so great about vintage fashion, is that there are so many interesting details in vintage pieces that you just can't find in new pieces nowadays. But my issue with Levi's engineered jeans is, because understandably everyone wants a pair, I want a pair, is why are size 6 girlies buying waist 36 Levi's engineered jeans? Where it's like, yeah, sure, when you cinch it up, it fits you, but it doesn't look good. They look ill-fitting. And I think that's my issue. And like, I think it's almost like it feels like some people are in psychosis, where it's like, you know, I'm seeing people drop 250 quid on a pair of Levi's engineered jeans that don't even fit them properly just because they want the Levi's engineered jeans. And look, I completely understand, because they are great jeans, and like the quest which us women go on to find a pair of perfect fitting jeans, it's not easy out there. It's not easy out there. I understand. But if you're having to really cinch them up to make them fit, put them back on the rack, babe. Put them back on the rack. They're not meant for you. Is there any other fashion propaganda I'm not falling for? That's the only thing, because this is the thing. Even trends that I wouldn't wear myself, I do still like on other people. So that's like the only fashion propaganda that I can think of off the top of my head are Levi's engineered jeans. And you know what? I'm going to be a positive babe, and I'm going to do the what are some of your favorite trends right now. I would say some of my favorite trends right now, and a few of you guys asked me about this. Guys, my allegiances are wavering. I am wearing a lot more straight leg trousers. I'm loving a good pair of straight leg jeans, straight leg trousers. To be fair, I just like the way that my body looks in them. And this is the thing, when you start wearing straight leg jeans, guys, when you put the baggy jeans on, you feel like you're wearing clown trousers. Like, it's the weirdest thing, the way that it like changes your brain. There's no particular reason. I don't particularly dislike baggy trousers. I like baggy trousers. I like baggy trousers on other people. I just feel like I've been really loving the straight leg trousers, straight leg jeans. Especially, that's the only thing I don't love about wearing straight leg trousers, is that they don't look great with trainers. And I'm like a very chunky trainers girl. But another trend I've been liking, and I've literally got them down right here, is I find shopping for black boots really difficult. I have been looking for like the perfect pair of black boots for ages, because I find that when you buy a pair of black boots new, or just any pair of boots new really, they just look a bit like you're wearing boots. Do you know what I mean? Because they're like so new, and they're so like unscuffed, and they're so sort of rigid in their shape because you haven't worn them yet, that like the whole outfit is just, oh, she's wearing a pair of boots. Like you feel like, you know, when SpongeBob gets those like big rubber boots, like that's sort of how it feels. So I've been on the hunt. So I've managed to find my favorite pair of brown boots, which are from a brand, I got them on Vinted, a brand called Jones the Bootmaker, which usually they're like 100 quid boots, and I got them for 20 quid. So I was like really, really happy. They're like these brown buckle boots. They're like a pair of my favorite boots ever. They're very similar to my friend, one of my best friends, Faye, has a pair of Faith boots that are just incredible. I finally found my perfect pair of black boots, and this ties in to my fashion trends at the moment, which I've been loving this style of boot. They are a similar silhouette to the Prada sport boots, and Vagabond just released a pair of boots like this, called, I think they're called the Sky boots. But this is the thing, because they're new boots, they have that new boot look where it just looks like you're wearing a pair of boots. Like, do you know what I mean? So I love these. The brand, I got them from eBay. The brand is Clark's. They are half a size too big. They're a 5.5, and I usually have to layer 2 socks, and they just aren't, they're not uncomfortable, but they do definitely wear in after a while. Like, I think I'm gonna have to put on heel protectors. I also think, sorry, there's like hair hanging off them. I also think I'm gonna have to get these resold, because one of them, I can't tell if my feet are cold or if my foot's getting a bit damp, because like I've been like looking at the shoe extensively and I can't see a hole anywhere. But obviously, famously with vintage shoes, they do sort of start crumbling after a while. But there's been one of the trends I've been loving at the moment are these sort of sporty style black boots. And if you are in the market for a pair of black boots that don't look too much like boots, then definitely buy secondhand and definitely have a look at Clark's, because they're all real leather. I've also, what other fashion trends have I been loving at the moment? I've been loving a good bonnet. I love, like, this is the thing, covering your head in the winter and your ears in the winter is key to staying warm. And I don't like wearing a hat because a hat messes up my hair. It makes my hair look really flat. And I don't really like wearing earmuffs either because I like to wear headphones. So, I mean, I can't win, right? Wrong, because I have a bonnet. I have 2 bonnets. One of them I would really recommend. The other one, not so much. One of my bonnets is from Paloma Wool, and I've worn it in an episode before, but basically it was like, usually the Paloma Wool ones have quite a thick, like, this, and it's like a proper scarf. Mine's not like a proper scarf. It's like quite thin and flimsy, and it looks a bit naff sometimes. But a bonnet which my girlfriend's got me for my birthday, which I absolutely love, is from a brand called Melissa Tida, and it is my grey, and it's got like studs around it, and it's like a grey bonnet, and it's so warm on my head, and it doesn't mess my hair up, and I just look so cute. I absolutely love it. Again, sorry, circling back to this point about straight leg trousers, actually, because a lot of you guys have been asking me about like this, are we ever going to go back to skinny jeans? And this is the thing, we never go back to trends fully, we just go back to a reimagined version of the trend. And I think the reimagined version of skinny jeans is going to be more straight leg jeans, I can imagine. Oh, and sorry, what I was saying about wearing straight leg jeans is they don't really look good with trainers, but they do look really good with a pair of like sporty style boots like these. Like, it just looks very, like, I just look very stylish, guys. I think the reason why I don't think, as in like within sort of the fashion space, I know a lot of people wear skinny jeans still, but I think the reason why like skinny jeans, I don't think will make a full comeback in that same way, is because so much of how skinny jeans look is like dependent on how like your body shape, right? Because they literally are skin tight to your body. And I think something I don't love about the skinny jeans trend is or just people wearing skinny jeans on social media, is the only real times I see people wear skinny jeans and get praised for it and be like, oh my God, that's so indie sleaze, is people that are so skinny. And like, that's what I don't really love about that trend. And that's why I think straight leg jeans are a great in between, because this whole sort of like, oh my God, you look so indie sleaze is like, I feel like just a buzzword for, you look so skinny and you look like you like smoke cigarettes for breakfast. And I'm saying this as a Vogue smoker myself. And I know people are going to say that I'm like body shaming people that are really skinny. That's actually not the case. My issue is the fact that these trends are perceived. Again, it's one of those things, is it a fit or is she just skinny? Everything always comes back to, is it a fit or is she just skinny? And like these people who are posting like their like indie sleaze skinny jeans outfits, they're only getting that praise because they are so thin. Also, another one of this is a favorite trend of mine right now that I want to start trying to wear more. and I'm trying to like incorporate it into my wardrobe. And that is, this is not even a trend. This is just like a style of outfit. I've been loving a midi skirt and a boot. Like, I feel like midi skirt with a boot is the most like fashionable outfit ever. Like, I think maybe I think it's so fashionable because I don't wear it that often. Like, I do wear a lot of midi skirts in the summer, and I'll wear like midi skirts with like flip-flops and stuff, but there's something about like a midi skirt and a boot in the winter with like a big like sort of like furry like coat, like zip up fur coat with like a fur hood, that I think looks so cool. But it's one of those things where I think the reason I don't wear stuff like that often is because it doesn't superly fit into my lifestyle. I'm going to try and get more into it, but like, I don't like wearing tights because I get very overstimulated. And then when I go to my office like 4 days a week, I'm not going to like dress up to go to the office. Like, I do just wear what is comfortable. But I really want to get more into it because I think it's like so fashionable. I think it's like the most fashionable thing. A few of you guys asked me about how to figure out what you genuinely like versus what is a microtrend/trend, and also are microtrends dead? I think it's really interesting because I definitely sorry, I keep saying that, but I definitely don't think that microtrends are ever going to exist in the same way that they did in 2021. Hashtag House of Hockney. House of Hockney? House of Sunny Hockney dress. Hockney dress gay. Like, I feel like we're never ever going to see microtrends in that same like widespread way. But I also think that social media is an echo chamber in the influencing fashion space, where I feel like now as an influencer, and I guess I saw someone make a TikTok saying like, is vintage fashion becoming a status symbol? Which like it absolutely is, because the thing with vintage fashion and with these slow brands is there are financial barriers. So it's absolutely become like a status symbol to be able to shop vintage and shop all of these brands, even though like vintage and secondhand fashion, it has roots in trying to save money. It has roots in like the working class community. It has roots in, you know, student life. So I definitely think there has been this really big shift in the fashion space and what is seen as cool, and there's been absolutely a shift towards vintage fashion and small brands, which is why I don't think we're going to see microtrends in the same way. But also, social media is an echo chamber. I remind myself of this every single day because there is this girl on here, her name is Katie, I believe. She has a podcast called Refashioned, and she made a podcast episode about like microtrends that you like shouldn't buy and what you should buy instead and all of this. And it's like really interesting because I like haven't seen any of this stuff. Like, she was talking about things like, you know, there's like sort of horizontal striped shirts and stuff that I haven't really seen anything of. So like, it really is an echo chamber. I would say a big, maybe a telling factor as to something which might become oversaturated and you might get a bit sick of seeing is if this thing is on TikTok Shop. I think that's always a bit of a teller, maybe, but I could be wrong. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to keep it real. I don't think any of these microtrends even exist in the same capacity anymore. And I would say when it comes to things of like deciding whether you like something or whether something's a trend, of course you can try and like venture out with your style, which is something I'm trying to do right now, as we know, with me trying to wear my skirt and midi boots combo. But number one, if you see something that you like a fashion trend, and it's something that is a little bit, you know, not entirely your style, but you want to try it out, try and find something in your wardrobe that's similar. So for example, with my whole midi skirt and boots, I was like looking at different midi skirts to buy, and then I was like, wait a minute, I literally have midi skirts in my cupboard. Let me try and integrate this trend into my wardrobe without buying anything, which is always like probably my biggest piece of advice. And then another thing is to see again if this trend would actually fit into your lifestyle, match with your wardrobe, if it's a typical silhouette that you usually go for. And again, obviously you can branch out and you can experiment, but like just know that if you do branch out and experiment, you are inherently taking a little bit of a risk. And whether seeing something loads makes you like something more, maybe. I always find that when someone that you like starts wearing something, like someone that you actually are fond of, like as an influencer or as a YouTuber, then you start to grow fond of it, but I've always found the best thing for developing your own personal style is to not shop for a sec and just live, because then you start realizing all of the silhouettes that you typically go for. Look at all of the most worn things in your wardrobe and what are similar about them. I've said this before, but because I go into my office and my office is like a 20-minute walk from the station, I want to wear a comfy pair of trainers, trousers. I don't like doing the midi skirt and boots when I'm going into the office, because also I feel a bit silly because I work in like a residential area, so I'm literally like, why are you all glammed up to go to the residential area, babes? And onto this topic of, sorry, I keep talking about my boots, but someone did comment saying, what are your favorite affordable winter boots? It is, guys, you gotta buy this stuff secondhand. You can buy so many good winter boots on Vinted. Those boots there, those Clarks ones, aren't even proper winter boots. I used to have a pair of proper winter boots. They were from North Face and they were like actual snow boots, and I got them from Vinted for like £10. What other stuff I got from Vinted? I got a pair, obviously those Clarks boots. There's so many Clarks boots on Vinted, but also I bought a pair of basically brand new Ugg boots for 20 quid on Vinted, grey Ugg boots. And like, this is the thing. When it comes to Uggs, don't let it's actually so interesting how much like trends and like influencing could really blind you, because I had like a pair of Uggs on my wish list and I wanted to get a grey pair and I wanted to get like the little, like the mini like micro Uggs. And I had a look, couldn't find any micro Uggs on Vinted, and they're like over £100. And then I had a look on Vinted and I found a pair of grey, like just regular ankle ones. And a part of me inside went, well, I don't want those ones. I want the micro ones. And then I went, Jordan, girl. And I looked at them. They are basically the same, like just a tiny difference in height. And it like kind of reminds me of when you used to ask for like a specific thing from your parents, like a specific piece of clothing. And you'd be like, it's not the same as that. I want the exact thing. I think it taps into that childlike psychology of like, oh, no, I want this exact thing. But when it comes to things like Uggs or stuff, you can actually find so many pairs of like the regular ankle ones on Vinted. I found some which are basically brand new for a fraction. I got mine for 20 quid for a fraction of the price, which is like usually 120, 130 pounds on the Ugg website. Someone asked how to find cute, sustainable fashion brands. Honestly, this is the thing. It feels like not even bad advice, but I guess it feels like almost the against the grain advice. The place I get all of my fashion recommendations from are influencers, and I think as long as you don't like over consume like influencer content, become like blinded and like confused of what to buy, then like I think there's just a select few people that I follow who always have really good brand recommendations. Susie Lola, Isabella Vrana, as in like these are influencers that I follow. Daughter of a Hoarder, Raymonda J. Who else? Those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. My friend Faye is Faye OM. And then I always ask my friends. You can also find great fashion recommendations on Pinterest. The advertising tools on Pinterest are really, really good. Another one of you guys said, what are your thoughts on like wrong blank theory? I have many thoughts about like TikTok's overuse of the word theory. Like, do you remember when like hair theory was a trend and people were just like posting videos of like how different they looked with different hairstyles? Like, yeah, duh. You look different when like a thing that's on your face is like tied back or in front of it or whatever. But I do think it's one of those things where, yeah, sure, the word theory is a bit like, it makes you go a bit like, ah. But I think there is definitely something to say about, I kind of love a mismatched vibe. And I think what I really love is I love trainers with an outfit that's not really typically supposed to have trainers. So I'm talking like trainers with a midi skirt, trainers and a pair of trousers. Like, that's what I love. And I think what I really like about those kinds of trends is that I think that almost like wearing the wrong shoe with something, wearing the wrong jacket with something, wearing the wrong bag with something. Again, I feel like it's like a representation of a life lived, because a lot of the time people are wearing a particular shoe, a particular jacket, a particular bag because of the environment that they're in. And I think a lot of my like admiration, not even admiration, but I guess like, me wearing trainers with midi skirts, me wearing trainers with like a smart pair of trousers is actually because the trainers are comfortable. And then I think there's something just inherently fashionable about someone who's their clothing, their outfit shows a life lived. I think because of social media, because of, Instagram and TikTok and fashion influencing, so many outfits that we see online are only outfits which are supposed to be photographed, that like it's so refreshing to see an outfit which is so clearly very practical. And I just love it. Like, I feel like it feels almost like a juxtaposition. I think that's why I really love like vintage fashion so much and secondhand fashion, is because the clothes have already been worn in. There's something which, it's like quite stupid. I've said this on an episode before, but I always feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's not embarrassing, but it feels embarrassing when I go out wearing all new clothes, because I feel like everyone here knows that I'm wearing a brand new outfit, and I feel like I'm trying too hard. I feel like a beg. So I think this whole like wrong blank theory is actually rooted in people wearing the wrong things with outfits because they're actually trying to adapt their outfits to their environment. And I always find I get the best fashion inspiration from like in real life, like from like people. And something which I'm only ever good at this occasionally, but something that's really good to get into the habit of is being like, I guess, brave enough to ask a stranger where the something they're wearing is from. Like, I used to do this all the time. I don't do this that much anymore. I feel like, guys, oh my God, I'm so like my nose in a book era. Like, my nose is always in a bloody book when I'm on public transport, that I'm not being super observant. But I love like just tapping, not even tapping someone, but just going like, waving them, going, I'm really sorry, where's your bag from? Or where's this from? Where's that from? Because especially, I'm not being funny, they love it. It's like whenever I ask someone where something's from, they go, oh my God. I go, I love it. They go, oh my God, thank you. And then they tell me, and it's like a really nice like experience. Another one of you guys asked how my hair color influences my fashion choices. A few people that had red hair like did comment like, does your red hair ever influence the way that you dress? And this is the thing, not anymore. Actually, no, there's one thing in which it influences, and it influences that I don't really wear anything burgundy on the top half because it does just become quite like monotonous. I love wearing navy blue. This is like a navy blue top. I love wearing navy blue because of my hair, because it makes my hair really pop. My little Paloma Wool bonnet is navy blue, and I think that it looks so good. I don't really wear a ton of red or burgundy anymore, I will say. But I don't stop myself from wearing bright colors or anything, even though I do think I just lean more towards neutrals like most people. I don't stop myself from wearing bright colors because I purposefully have dyed my hair like a darker shade of red, because my hair used to be a really vibrant shade of red. That was when it stopped me from wearing colors, because I remember when I had like the bright red hair, the eyebrow piercing, and if I put on like a bright dress, I would look like an absolute lunatic. So like, or I'd feel like a lunatic, even though I'm sure I didn't look like weird at all. So that's why I decided to go like darker with the hair. And it's actually, red hair dysmorphia is such a real thing, because like I feel like my hair is brown. Like I feel like I have like, guys, like I have brown hair right now, even though this is very clearly red. I love that someone said expensive brands that are bad quality. And I literally put my answer in the brackets. Guys, I need to de-influence you from the cult that is Damps and Madder. And this is the thing. Damps and Madder isn't superly my style anyway. So I understand that, like, that's fine. That's fine. Brands can exist that aren't my style. Do you know what I mean? Lucy and Yak isn't my style. That I have a problem with them. This is the thing, is that there's a few things on Damps and Madder that I've bought before. I've made one order with Damps and Madder before. And I bought this fruit print dress. I wore it like 3 years ago. I actually didn't wear it this summer, weirdly, but it's very like holiday dress vibe. I know that sort of fruit print was quite trendy, but I still really, really liked it. Anyways, and I still like it now. I still have it. It had like these thin straps that were beaded. And I remember I wore it and I loved it, and I was about to leave the house and I bent over to put my trainers on, wrong shoe theory, of course, to put my trainers on, and the strap snapped. Thank God I was inside, because I wasn't wearing a bra. So it was like full tits to the wind. So I sent Damps and Madder an email and I said, hi, I bought this dress. I spent £90 on it. The strap snapped right off, even just when I very lightly bent over. I was wondering if I could be sent a new one. Nothing. I then sent a follow-up email. Nothing. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not getting a refund or an exchange on this dress. And this is the thing, is that isn't the norm for brands usually. Because I thought, oh, well, I guess if I've taken the tag off, then they won't exchange it. But I bought my friend Kitty a bangle. Me and the girls bought Kitty a bangle as part of her birthday present, and it kept falling off. So I just emailed Pilgrim, it was from Pilgrim Jewelry, and just said, oh, it keeps dropping off, by the way. And they literally offered to send me a new one within a few hours. And they didn't even ask for the old one back. So anyways, I'm like, okay, fine. So I go to the tailors and I show them my dress. I go, can you stitch it back on? And they go, the straps on this dress are way too thin. It's just going to snap straight off. We'll re-strap it, re-bead it with thicker beads. And this is the thing, is that I've seen a lot of people complaining about the quality of Damps and Madder stuff, and it just feels like Damps and Madder stuff isn't wear tested, because not only is it poor quality, but also the straps weren't even done correctly. Because if anyone wore it for like half an hour, the strap would snap straight off. Like, I imagine if that happened in public, my boobs would have been exposed. But yeah, and I wore it on my stories a couple of times and people have been like, oh my god, where's the dress from? And I've literally gone, it's from Dance and Madder, wouldn't recommend buying it. The strap snapped straight off. I love this conversation that people have been having about like the cool girl and almost like the cult of the cool girl. I watched this video essay by Mickey Galvin, I believe her username is, and she made an episode, a video essay called like Stop Trying to Be a Cool Girl. And it's like so interesting how often the word cool girl is like utilized in like fashion marketing. Like, this is the next cool girl bag, this is the next this is the next that. I want to make an entire episode basically about like the politics of coolness and like what makes someone cool, why, you know, in our like mid to late 20s, you know, we're out of school, why do we still want to be perceived as cool? And I think that's like so interesting. And I think it's so interesting the way that cool is utilized in marketing, because I guess it's one of those things where it's always going to be just out of your reach. And I think like the more that you try to be cool, it's almost like the more you consume, because you're trying to like reach a point that you may, you know, thinking of yourself as cool actually isn't about your material like possessions, in my opinion. It's actually more related mentally. And like, if you are not in a great place mentally, then you're never going to feel cool, no matter how many like it girl bags or it girl brands you shop from. I love that someone said, how do people actually organize their clothes? Real. To be fair, I have two wardrobes. One is for coats. This wardrobe over here, I keep all my clothes in. And the way that I organize it is I hang most things up, including smart trousers, fold up tracksuit bottoms, jeans, casual trousers, and then in the bottom I just go through my wardrobe constantly, and anything that isn't like cutting it, I'll put it in like my vintage bag. I have a vintage bag in my ensuite, and then every few months I go through the vintage bag, and some things I go, oh, I really want to wear that today, and then it comes back out. I don't get rid of it straight away, but I'm always trying to clear wardrobe space, because I've seen a few people do this. I'm not trying to buy any new hangers, and I'm just trying to, you know, as soon as I run out of hangers, something's got to go, or even like something's just got to be downgraded to being folded up. But I found that I never fold up things. I try not to fold up. I try to keep folding up to a minimum, because I do find that when I fold things up, I forget that they exist. I love that someone asked, is an individuality complex masking what we actually like? I think this is a really interesting debate, especially when it comes to like fashion and trends. I think yes, people do have a particular emphasis on individuality, but I don't think people's individuality complexes are necessarily a bad thing, because I think something that really contributes to the death of a trend is oversaturation, which I think why there is such this emphasis on shopping from like small brands and shopping from brands that do limited drops, and also shopping from, you know, vintage brands, getting one of a kind pieces, because I think everybody survived the 2021 microtrends hellscape and, you know, spent a lot of money on a House of Sunny dress or this, that, and the other, for it to become so oversaturated that they are so sick of it that they never want to wear it again. That I think people have become very conscious and very aware of not falling into that pattern again and wanting to buy things that are different and unique. I am going to wrap this episode up with a couple of things, actually. Okay, number one, someone said, why is your Planet Earth shirt so much nicer than mine? Guys, my truth is that I bought another one of those. Bear in mind, they're expensive. They're £95, man. I bought another one of those of Planet Earth shirts, and it's nowhere near the same as my grey one. I love my grey one, and then I got the like black striped one, and it fits so weirdly, and it's really annoying because it was the same top. I actually didn't try it on. I just put it straight in my wardrobe. I should have tried it on. That was my fault. And like, I despise it, and I want to sell it. So I mean, this is the thing. I'm not exactly selling it. Do you know what I mean? But I am just going to stick it on my Vinted because I'm so disappointed. Someone said, for an older millennial, what is a trendy sneaker nowadays. I think that when it comes to trainers, and I've learnt the hard way, don't always go for what is, no, to be fair, there's always going to be in circulation loads of trendy trainers. But I will say, if you're choosing your trendy trainer, make sure it's a trainer silhouette that you actually go for. I went through this phase of trying to make Adidas Sambas work for me and trying to make Adidas Gazelles work for me. I'm just not a slim trainer person. I feel like a donut. I feel so silly when I wear slim trainers. I like a chunky trainer. And I think that when you find a trainer that you like, if you want to get it in more colors, get it in more colors if you know you're going to get use out of it. So personally, my favorite trainers are Salomons. Like, I love a good Salomon. My favorite are the ACS ones. They're the very big chunky ones. But I also have 2 pairs of the XT6s. Like, I love a good pair of Salomon trainers, and I do want to get another one of just the plain black XT6, sorry, is that it? Yeah. So I would probably say, if you're going to go for any trendy trainer, just make sure it's like, try and decide what trainer silhouette you go for more, a slim one or a chunky one, and then go from there. But are there any ones that I recently got a pair of Adidas, what are they called? Shocks? Like, no. I got the pair of the Nike Shocks, which are nice. I have Salomon pairs. I think the Puma trainers also look really good as well. The Speed Cats, the Onitsuka Tigers are really nice too. But again, I'm just saying these are nice. These aren't trainers that I would wear myself because they're slim trainers. And what I'm going to finish this off on is what is on my clothing wish list. I only have one thing on my wish list at the moment. Actually, to be fair, I have a few things, but I've already asked them in my Secret Santa. I really want a Suzanne scarf, a Suzanne Marianne scarf. They are like these really big scarves. Loads of my girlfriends have them. They are like literally like blankets. I really want one of those. And I also want, there's a pair of peachy den trousers that are called the Twiggy trousers, I think. They're straight leg, soft Cupro trousers, but they're structured. I just need like something that I actually genuinely need in my wardrobe is a new pair of black smart straight leg trousers. I bought a couple from Massimo Dutti's to try them on, but the quality felt so horrible. Like, bear in mind, these were like £70 trousers, and the quality felt disgusting that I was like, nope, no way, boxed up, not getting that again. So I'm gonna have a look at these peach den ones. They're the only ones I found that I actually really like. So yes, oh my god, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had so much fun having a little fashiony yap with you guys. Let me know if you want more of this. Maybe when I start doing my vlogs, maybe I'll do a couple little fashiony videos as well. But I kind of like just doing the fashion stuff on Instagram and TikTok, to be honest. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a great weekend and a great rest of your week. And I will see you all for the next one. Bye.